Hey there, and welcome to this meridian yin practice. For this practice, we are going to kind of stimulate, activate, balance the liver, gallbladder, kidney, and the urinary bladder meridian lines. The meridian lines being these channels of energy that flow through us. The liver and gallbladder are connected with our emotions and our sleep patterns. Our liver is kind of located here and kind of runs through the inside of our legs. The gallbladder kind of runs on the outside of our legs, so our side bodies. The kidney and the urinary bladder are associated with our energy, our life force, our willpower, right? So there are these powerful spaces. So the meridian line runs not central, but just to the outside down and kind of wraps on the more inner thigh. So the lung and the meridians are kind of, or the liver and the meridian. So the liver and the kidney lines kind of run parallel in some of those regards, and the bladder runs along the outside of our back body. So kind of on the reflection on the kidney back, kind of running down the back body. So the postures we will be getting into today will really be designed to encourage energy, to encourage flow in those meridian lines. And this is a beautiful way to use our practice, our physical practice, to influence the subtler spaces of ourselves, right? So using the Anamaya Kosha to work within the space of the Pranamaya Kosha gets into our physiological functions, right, that our organs are associated with. And then also that Manomaya Kosha, the space of our emotions, of our thoughts, our kind of that ego self in so many ways, right? And so it's a way to kind of influence that space, to use our sacred practice on the mat to not only work the physical body, because right, the yin practice still designed to get into our plastic tissues, our connective tissues, tendons, ligaments, also our fascia, our little snuggle blanket that holds us intact, right, to help hydrate our fascia. So this is a very multi-layered space when we work within the meridian lines, and with that intentionality to be able to help calm and balance, right? So again, liver and gallbladder that we'll be working with are our emotions. So this could be a very emotional practice that comes up. So if those start to bubble up, flow with that, breathe with that, see where that leads, right? That's that influencing space and the release of any kind of emotion that just needs to be expressed. Be any kind of emotion, joy, sadness, anger, sorrow, any of those spaces, panic. Just feel into it a little bit. Breathe into it, let it come out. Also, our sleep patterns, right? So, if you have had problems sleeping or anything like that, hopefully after this practice, you'll find that you either can sleep, get into a deeper sleep to be able to help regulate our sleep patterns. And then also kidney and bladder, that energy and willpower, right? So if you've kind of felt sluggish, maybe this will help amp you up and kind of activate that energy, that vital life force within us to help us stay with it and keep flowing and keep living. Or if you felt yourself kind of like diminished a little bit in that space of lack of energy, of the willpower, like if you felt like a little fearful or timid or not quite there, this may help bolster you. On the flip side, perhaps like if we've had the frantic energy, this kind of practice could help balance that and just bring us into that space of sattva, right, of beautiful harmony. So this practice will help influence on so many levels. So if you feel that energy kind of shift, just start to notice how when we're in the physical practices, the physical postures, how that influences your subtler bodies, right? Just notice, tune in, use the breath, and really notice how these postures affect the energy within, affect our breath, even when we walk off the mat, affect how we continue to live, sleep, have that energy. So just begin to notice. I invite you to explore the subtler layers of this practice through this meridian yin practice today. You'll see I have a ton of props, so you do want to grab some props. I have just a couple pillows. I don't have a bolster, but I have this long pillow, like a little sleep pillow. Thanks to my mama for making this beautiful covering. And then I have a couple blocks that I'll use, as well as a blanket. All right, so grab some props. If you don't have these things, look around and see what kind of mirrors these things. Any kind of blanket will do. Books, a whole bunch of like maybe DVDs or something like that. Look around, see what you have. Find something like this and something kind of long. This could even be several blankets folded up when we get there. So we'll find that space. And we will begin in a seated meditation. So come to a comfortable seat. And let's take a breath together. Exhale out all your current air. And together, let's take a deep breath in. Let it go. Softly closing your eyes if they're not there already. Just drawing your attention inward. Resting your awareness on your breath. Pausing all conversations we were just having. Putting away any to-do lists, any planning. So that you can draw into the full present moment here. Noticing the quality of your inhale, how it feels to invite oxygen into your body. And tuning into the exhales, how it feels to release the air from your body. Notice how the breath creates undulations within you. Just tuning into your own rhythms. Getting comfortable with your own breath. And allowing your awareness to merge with your breath and flow through your body as a curious, welcoming space. Just welcoming you into your body, welcoming you home into this space. What do you notice? Do you notice about how you're showing up right now? Five more breaths to just be here now. And joining together again with a breath. Exhale out all your current air. And together, let's take a deep breath in. Open mouth and let it go. Gently beginning to open your eyes, returning to this space together, and we will begin our practice in a Sphinx posture. So please make your way down to your bellies. Just in case, bring a pillow with you. You may find it supportive. Make sure these props are out of the way. And we're just going to come down into a Sphinx posture. So here on our bellies, elbows come underneath the shoulders, hands wide at an 11. And breathe here. And breathe so deeply that we are massaging the kidneys and our back body. That we're breathing and stimulating our urinary bladder along our back lines of our body. Just breathe and notice. Breathing into the heart, activating the kidney meridian lines in the front area of our body. Three more breaths. And then coming down, bringing your forearms down, resting your forehead on your forearms. So stack the forearms. Just let the head come down to the forearms, taking a moment to rest the back body. Perhaps noticing whatever was activated in that posture. If you'd like, if it feels good, you can gently windshield wiper the legs. 5 breaths. And as you're ready, coming back up, second set of Sphinx. We're here for 5 breaths. So really activate, push down into the earth, open up the collarbones. Count as big of as breaths as you can take for 5 counts. When you're complete with the breaths, once again stacking the forearms, forehead comes to rest. Feel into the back body. Just notice and breathe. Letting your awareness flow through you, just seeking to understand how these forms influence all of our bodies. Physical, physiological, mental, emotional. And when you are ready, coming up, we're going to take seal posture. So your feet are going to come wide this time, so about mat distance apart. And please, please, please check in with your lower spine. Your back will tell you exactly where your hands will need to be. So we're going to begin just keeping them kind of far out, a little bit wider than the mat, keeping a little bit wider than the shoulders, keeping about mat distance apart. And then from here, check in with your lower back. And as you'd like, you can slowly walk the hands closer. Make sure we're trying to keep as much space in that torso as we can. So find length here and breathe. Perhaps the chin wants to come down to the chest. Notice where it feels best. Just tuning in to your energy, your vital life force. How has your energy been these last few days? How have you felt? How's your presence in the world? How is your willpower? The kidneys and the bladder are the water elements within our body, carrying that energy, the fluidity, the ebbs and flows of life, space of grief and sadness, and yet willpower and strength. 5 more breaths. Breathe deeply. Massage the kidneys, massage the bladder line behind your body. Feel your back body expand and strengthen in these final couple breaths. And as your breaths are complete, moving back into a child's pose. So those knees can stay wide, hips back to the heels, arms reach forward. Perhaps here's one of the places you want to grab a pillow or something. You can rest your head on it. Soften so it's not so much in the back. You can have like a long pillow, maybe you just want to lay on it. Find a space to just breathe here and allow the spine to relax, to stretch out, to notice whatever it is your body is asking you to notice in this moment, in this form. Five more breaths. Being fully present all the way from the beginning with the inhales, the air enters your body, and all the way through the end of the exhales as the air leaves your body. And when you feel complete with your breaths, use your arms, slowly push yourself up to seated. So we're going to move into a straddle posture. And actually, we're going to move into a half straddle posture. If you know straddle posture and can move back with both legs and you feel comfortable in your practice, I'll show you what that looks like. Please feel free. But this is a posture that's super intense on the knees. Right, so we're going to move slowly into it and just do a half saddle to get going. So saddle, let's just take a moment. That's all of us. Grab a block, grab something to sit on, and put it underneath your tush. And so that the legs come out. I always really enjoy externally rotating my calves out of the way to help me sit here a little bit. So you can see how intense this is going to be on the knees. Right? And then the next layer would be to sit down. So we're actually going to do, again, like I said, half, let's make sure you can see. And so we're going to set up for the half saddle. So let's get a little bridge created for us first. So I'm going to create a little bridge. If you have a bolster, grab that. Whatever you have to be that long space. I'm going to set my bridge up this way and put this pillow here. Right. And so bring the left foot back. And again, kind of sit on the inside. Right leg comes out. Check in with your knees, see how that feels. And then, if you'd like, you slowly start to just lower back. So this is where your personal props and figuring out where it's comfortable for you so that you can begin to slowly just lay on back here and really work into the front here. So this is going to get into, again, some of that liver and gall bladder here on the outside, right? So liver is running kind of down and gall bladder is running along the outside of that area. So just breathing with it. Again, find your, and if you can go all the way down, right, and you don't need any of that, please feel free to go all the way down. That would look like this, right? If you come down and you notice you lift up a lot in the back and you have this huge arch right here, please find some support. You don't want the excess on that lower back, right? So find the spot where you need to be, where it feels the juiciest for you in this moment. And close your eyes and just breathe. Again, so that liver and gallbladder, emotional space. Liver often is said to carry a lot of anger, a frustration. Gallbladder is said to carry a lot of resentment. You know, it's creating that tightness within, right? So breathing here in this space. Allowing it all to just relax and soften. If at any point in time this gets to be too much on the knee or somewhere else in the body, please slowly come out of it and readjust. Allow your awareness to sweep through you, noticing if you're carrying any excess tension somewhere else in the body, perhaps the shoulders, the jaw. See if you can soften or release anything else out of the hips. And take 5 more deep breaths. And as you feel complete in your breaths, take your time, use yourself to support yourself. Up to seated. Send that left leg straight on out. Support yourself, your spine, using your hands behind you. And I just like to toe tap here. Kind of send some energy down, ground a little bit. I like to think that anything that's broken up in some of these yin spots, any of those tight spots that we were able to relax, that this helps get it all the way out and process it all the way out, shake it out style, right? And then as you're ready, we'll switch sides. So right foot comes back, set yourself up so you're going to be good on your cushions. Again, I need to move my calf out of the way. So if you're in a similar space, make any adjustments you need, right? Feel comfortable. And again, honor this side. It may be different, right? Our knees may be different from side to side, our quads. So if this side needs a little loving and a little pause or something slower, or it feels great, just honor however this side is showing up. And when you're ready, find that space of relaxation. There we go. Just noticing whatever is coming up as we work and open and stimulate the liver and gall bladder meridian lines. The space of some of our really intense emotions. The space of our sleep, our rest. 5 more breaths. And as you are ready, take your time. Slowly work your way back up. Send the legs straight on out. Again, if those tapping exercises resonated with you, please take those tapping spaces. Tap it out. Then we're going to move into a half butterfly. Just to kind of slowly open up and warm up our connective tissues there in the knees and inner thighs and whatnot. So the right sole of the right foot is going to come in to the inside of the left thigh. It's going to be this wide opening actually. So come out as far to the outside 180-degree angle as we can. Feel if you need to make any adjustments here. Then we're going to walk forward. So again, if you have something that you'd like to cushion yourself, cradle yourself with, as we come forward, please feel free. Just settle into the space of the hips. Again, really getting into this liver and gallbladder here, right? Into the inside, activating a little bit of that kidney, but really getting into that liver here. So gallbladder on the outside, so if you're feeling it on the outside of this line, that would be that. One of the ways to help make sure we kind of activate that space is to keep these toes and this knee pointed up, right? That'll help keep this outer line activated. And find someplace good for the shoulders to relax and just breathe. Deep breath. Noticing whatever it is that's arising. Again, the physical sensations, the emotional sensations, the mental sensations. Breathe. Five more breaths. And when you feel complete with your breath, take your time. Draw that left leg in. Send the right leg out. Sole of the left foot to the inside of the right leg. You can walk that right leg to however you can feel it. Again, not going too far where it's like extraneous, but going just enough so that you feel that stretch along that inner and outer thigh here. Find it. Adjust as you may need. And slowly start to come forward and just breathe. And again, it could be even here, right? You don't even necessarily have to have any kind of bolster or anything. And breathe here. bodies hold our stories. All that we've done is written in our body. So honoring this space, this temple of our bodies, as communication messengers, as a way to relay our story, even to ourselves, as we breathe deeply here, allowing whatever is showing up to show up, to be seen by us, to be acknowledged, transmuted. Breathing deeply, staying fully present for every breath. For each breath carries a message upon it. A message from ourselves to ourselves, for ourselves. Five more breaths. Breathe three-dimensionally. And then as you feel complete in the breaths, coming on up, going to move into full butterfly this time. And this is a great opportunity to actually connect with a couple of the acupressure points. So one is going to be the kidney and one is going to be the liver. So once again, kidney is going to be this K1 point. It's kind of right underneath the fleshy mound of your big toe. Right, you can get it either side. This is kidney one. It's called bubbling spring, and it's all about drawing in vitality. This is the source point of our vitality, of our energy. So especially if we've been feeling lethargic or down or low energy, this will be a great point to help activate and really get it. So it's the beginning point of our chi, and it's great that it's in the foot because it brings in grounded energy, right? So not that up here frantic space. So if you'd like K1 points on the inside of the feet. So as we come into full butterfly, soles of the feet together, knees open wide. Again, if your quads or your hips are a little tight, you can find some sort of support. But then again, so kidney point, and then the liver point, liver 3 is kind of, if you follow where those two lines would touch in your foot, it's almost on the exact opposite side. So here on the top of the foot, not in the crux, a little bit down, about 2 finger widths down, is going to be the liver 3 point. And that point is great for stress. Yeah, so if you've been feeling stressed out a little bit, this is a great point to activate here. I can see if it feels a little sore. If you feel a sore point, it's probably it. But it's also about like low back pain, high blood pressure, menstrual cramps, women if we need any extra support with that, anxiety, insomnia. So this will be a great point if you need it. So once we're there, find it. You can just begin to lean forward. If you want to forgo the point, you can walk the hands out or even, get into this space. If you're feeling called to do this and not the acupressure points, totally up to you. Be where you need to be. Just follow the breath. Be curious without judgment, without analyzing, perhaps without even necessarily trying to verbalize what you're experiencing. Just breathe with yourself. Allow your breath and awareness to flow through you. Check in, see if you're carrying excess tension somewhere in the body, the shoulders, the neck, the jaw, somewhere in the lower hemisphere. See if we can relax just a little bit more for these final 5 breaths. As you're ready, take your time. Slowly release. There are a ton of pressure points and acupressure points and all of that in your body. You can even just give your meridians a little love here as you come on up. You can shake those legs out, tap those toes, release anything fully out. Give your body a little rub. And we're going to move onto our backs. We're going to do, I've heard it called several things. I've heard it called a supine half moon. I've heard it called a banana. So come on down to your backs. Lay all the way down. And we're going to bring our feet over to the right, to the outside of the right side of your mat. You can play with crossing the left foot over the right. You can play with that, feel into that. It's going to get into that hip a lot. And then the arms go up towards the sky, get some length, and then bring your shoulders over to the right. So we're really getting into that left side body here. And again, this is going to be a lot in that gall bladder, especially because of this half side. I'm getting the outside of the body, so breathing deeply, finding that spot where you can relax. Breathe into that left lung, cleansing and clearing any of the air that's being released as we stretch the lung open. Just notice. More deep breaths just flowing along the left side of your body. And then as you are complete, coming back, knees and legs into center. If you want, give them a little wiggle. Then take your time, walk it over to the left. And then arms over to the left, set it up. So again, we're in this banana or half moon, supine half moon space. Breathe into that whole right side body again, cleansing and clearing the air in the right lung that's being released here. And just being present for yourself. when you feel complete, coming back to center, bringing your knees into your chest, giving yourself a hug. Maybe rocking and rolling, swaying a little bit, massaging yourself out a little bit. And when you're ready, coming on over to your side, pushing yourself up to a child's pose or a down dog for just 3 breaths. Let's make it 5 for 5 breaths. Be here or down dog. And then moving into a half pigeon, Ekapada Raja Kapotasana, also called here swan, which sounds beautiful too. So if we're in a down dog, you can bring the right knee forward, right knee towards the right wrist, right ankle towards the left. If you're just bringing it, you can even just come up from child's pose and just bring it forward. And it doesn't really matter how close to parallel the right shin is with the mat. It just feels good about the hips. If you're feeling tight today and you need a little extra support, you can put like a blanket or a pillow or something underneath your hip to help support you if you need it. You can also go under this left leg if you need it. So feel the left hip. So feel into where you may need some support. You can even be lying on a blanket if you want to move into full sleeping swan. Find your spot and breathe with it. We're still really deep in that liver and gall bladder meridian here. Again, carrying some of our stronger emotions, those of like anger, resentment, frustration. Just allowing anything that needs to surface. And breathe with it, just allowing it. Five more deep breaths. And as you feel complete in the breaths, you can either move back to a child's pose or a down dog for a couple breaths. Totally up to you, kind of wherever you took it on the other side, if you'd like to repeat it or try something different. I always like a down dog personally because I feel like it allows more stuff to flow out of the body. And as you are ready, switching sides, left foot comes forward and through. Again, feel into the side, feel into if you need any props or adjustments in here to help you get a little bit more comfortable. And when you're ready, finding that sweet nectar spot where you can just breathe and relax. Noticing if you've gotten lost on a thought trip, remembering, planning, dreaming. Notice if you've gotten lost in the past or the present, and take a moment. Notice if you've gotten lost in the past or the future, and draw back to the present. And be present for your next 5 deep breaths to complete this pose. And as your breaths are complete, pushing yourself back up again. You can return to a down dog, child's pose for a couple breaths if you feels good to help kind of pedal and move the rest of that energy, and encourage some of that blood to flow through those joints, the hip and the knee here. And then coming on down, and we're going to move now into our final Shavasana. Please make this as supported as you'd like to really slip into relaxation. So if you've been noticing where you felt like you're carrying stuff or a little sore, be sure to support yourself and find that space. So ideas, I'm gonna lay on a pillow, support all the way from like my ribs on up, to support my back a little bit. You may also want to build an incline, a bridge. You may also want to check in with your knees, especially after that half pigeon, and put like something, a pillow or a blanket or something underneath your knees to support. You may want to cover up in a pillow or something, or in a blanket, and then just relax on back. Making any final adjustments, like really feeling your back body relax here on the earth. Tuning into all of the parts that are touching the ground, connected, and feel that connection, that grounded energy. Release any final movements, make any final adjustments. Again, I always like to shake it out when I get here, to shake anything else out that needs to be expressed. Adjust the shoulders, the hips, and allow the body to fall into complete relaxation. Sending the breath now throughout the body, just checking in to notice how you feel, touching all the way down to the toes with the breath. Feeling the breath up and down the spine through that central energy channel of the Sushumna. Feel the breath softening just a little bit more through the hips as you relax and let go. Just a little bit more. Feel the breath soften the shoulders, the neck, the jaw, softening it all just a little bit more with the breath. And allowing your thoughts and emotions to soften and quiet, so that as our body enters this stillness, so does our mind and our emotions. So that we can relax, so that we can rest and absorb our practice on a physical, physiological, emotional, and mental level here. And so that we can relax into that space of pure awareness, perhaps even into bliss. Allowing our breath to guide us into this space of stillness. remaining in the sweetness of this stillness, just drawn to the space of awareness. Notice what it is you're aware of. Tune into your energy, your life force. Tune into your willpower. These spaces of the kidney and bladder meridian lines that we've worked with today. Just notice how you feel. Check in with our emotions. Notice what emotional space we've cultivated that you're experiencing. Noticing how we feel after activating and working with the liver and gallbladder. Five breaths, just breathe in awareness. To receive any messages from any part of you that wants to speak up in these final moments. And reawakening to this space with a breath together. First, exhale out all your current air. And together, let's take a deep breath in. Open mouth, let it go. One more deep breath in. Let it go. Inviting in any motion or movement into the fingers, the toes, the wrists, the ankles. And when you're ready, send the arms up over your head, biceps graze the ears, a nice long stretch. And as you're ready, coming on over to the right or left side of your body, whichever is calling you today. Left tends to be feminine, a little bit more yin. Right is masculine, a little bit more yang. So if you're ready to go to bed, maybe the left side. Maybe if you're ready to activate, the right side. And take your time and come on up to a comfortable seated position in your space. Perhaps keeping the eyes closed if you'd like. And just moving into a short pranayama practice. Just counting the breath. Feeling the breath all the way down, almost a 3-part breath, right? If you can even put your hand on your belly, hand on your heart, if it helps. But breathing all the way down so that you feel the tummy expand, filling up the lungs so that you feel the chest expand, filling up even the top part of our throat a little bit so we feel this deep and hold and release and hold, right? So completely filling up from the bottom of the lungs, filling up all the way to the top. And then on the exhale, releasing from the top of the lungs all the way down to the bottom. So just going to move through some rounds of that. So let's begin together. Exhale out all your current air. And deep breath in all the way to the bottom of the lungs, feeling the belly fill up. All the way to the chest, feeling the chest rise, pause. And exhale, releasing from the chest, releasing from the belly. Pause. Your pace. feeling your breath, your life force within you. Just noticing what the breath feels like. All the way from the beginning of the inhales as it crosses over the nostrils, filling up the lungs, the chest, and feeling how the exhales feel. 5 more rounds of just deep breathing. And as you feel complete with your breath, just letting go of any control or management of the breath, just returning to a natural rhythm. Drawing awareness into your heart space, keeping connected to the breath, yet tuning in also to the beat of our heart. So much work in the emotional bodies, through the liver and the gall bladder. Tune in perhaps to how that shifted the heart's quality of energy. Maybe it feels lighter, more in harmony. And also tuning in into the pulse of the heart, your energy, your life force. Tune into the willpower. Having activated the kidney and the bladders, feeling deeply also connected into that Manipura chakra, our solar plexus. That space of the willpower, our confidence. And drawing into our heart space gratitude for this practice, for our ability to influence our emotional and mental spaces through the physical practice of yoga, through the act of breathing. So much gratitude for how interwoven our energies are and the communication networks, their vastness, their interconnectedness. And so much gratitude for showing up today to do this work, to help heal, to release, to energize, to balance, to satisfy our body in however ways our bodies show up. Again, physically, mentally, emotionally. And sealing in this space with a beautiful self-made sound of Om. You can Om, you can hum if you're not used to Oming but want to start that vibratory practice of sound. If you're not in that space and you're more quiet and internal and you just want to breathe, please feel free to find that as well, wherever you need to be. We'll take a cleansing breath together. Exhale out all your current air. Together, let's take a deep cleansing breath in. And the purifying breath out. The Om. Inhale. There's so much joy and gratitude, bringing my hands to my third eye center, the space of my highest, most intuitive self, and from here, bowing down to honor and acknowledge you. Namaste.